pleasant good evening from Soccer County, where we round out a jam-packed slate of action in USL League One with a clash of clubs desperate for 3 points. Westchester hosts Greenville, and tonight's match is presented by Northwell Health. We say hello and welcome from Mount Vernon, alongside the former League One standout Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Sam Goldfarb. And Ricky, for Westchester, this is a side that has not won in league play since early April. Strong display Wednesday night, though.
And a wonderful goal here from Connor McGlynn. Good ball into that dangerous area, but the execution, the overhead kick, the contact, the audacity, everything that goes into this strike from Connor McGlynn, phenomenal. And it was a solid performance for this Westchester side to draw against Fort Wayne. And that's something that we've seen from Westchester. A side that's looking for consistency. They've had their 2 wins at home, and it's going to be another opportunity to push up the League One table, but not going to be easy against a Greenville side that they lost to earlier this season.
To your point, very solid at home this year. They're part of a stretch where they're playing 3 matches at home in 9 days. George Jokai saying that is critical for the fate of their season. We'll see how they fare here. The opposite side of things, Greenville, back-to-back victories, statement win in Prince Cup play as well Wednesday.
This win is going to give this Greenville side so much confidence, because not only did you beat a USL Championship club, you did it in convincing fashion. 3 really good goals. As this ball comes over to the back post, Evans, a convincing header to that far post. And then this is the 3rd goal, is the phenomenal movement. Just a work rate to get higher up the field and the willingness to work off of one another for Greenville. The first 10 to 15 minutes to continue this momentum going to be crucial here on the road, but this side is growing in momentum.
They definitely are building some positive momentum entering the weekend. You see here at the USL League One table, though, Ricky, both well off the pace in terms of the playoff push.
It's an opportunity to continue to push up the table, and that's all you can ask for whether you are Greenville, whether you are Westchester. The first 10 to 15 minutes and 20 minutes of this match is going to tell us a lot in terms of getting in a rhythm. I think that's going to be key to pick up points.
We'll see if one of these 2 sides can do that here. Just about ready to get everything underway from Westchester County. It is Westchester and Greenville for the 2nd time this season. When we return, lineups and kickoff from Mount Vernon. Stick with us.
Eligible for Medicare? Here's a great new reason to be happy. You may qualify for money-saving programs that could lower your Medicare costs. Just talk to a Health First specialist about programs like Extra Help, Epic, and more. To learn how New Yorkers like you can save, call 1-844-434-6399. Health First Medicare Advantage Plans, where healthy starts.
Come on, get happy.
Raising health means elevating the care that we can get in our backyard. The Westchester Soccer Club is part of the United Soccer League that has now expanded into Westchester.
It's a brand new USL One team competing all across the country, bringing the love for the sport of soccer to the area.
Northwell is going to provide them the best care possible, going to the games, making sure that we're on site for each home game. If an injury pops up, we get those players in immediately.
The partnership between the Westchester Soccer Club and Northwell Health is very exciting.
Northwell's vision is to raise health. So we offer the full gamut of orthopedic services, serving the community in Westchester. That's where my family lives, that's where I live, and that's my purpose here.
We welcome you back to Westchester County. In the distance, the Manhattan skyline, as we are just about set for kickoff between Westchester SC and Greenville Triumph. A jam-packed sports weekend in the greater New York City area comes to a close with this clash in USL League One. Back here at the stadium at Memorial Field. Now time for our starting lineups presented by RXR Realty, Westchester Soccer Club's first choice for housing solutions, and 2 changes from Wednesday night.
For George Joikai, it's all about playing in that central location and winning that midfield battle. So Connor McGlynn, our mascot, do a really good job at dropping deeper in terms of dictating tempo and understanding when to break lines. That's exactly where Guzan likes to operate. In between the lines, you're going to get Jimenez and Evans providing the width, the ability to go 1v1, supporting Diaz, who leads the line.
On the opposite end of things, it is the same lineup as the one that toppled Loudoun Wednesday night for Greenville.
You're going to see this Greenville side start in a back 5, which gives them that foundation to settle into this game and allows them to be a little bit more progressive in possession. Herrera, Evans, and Boyce understanding when to step, when to drop, and being that security blanket in front of that back 5. And then you have the front 2. Look for them to test this Westchester backline in terms of transitional moments.
Akio and Liadi have been productive of late for a Triumph side that is desperate for as many goals as they can possibly conjure. The lowest scoring outfit in the league, but one that has bagged 4 in its last 2 across all comps. We are just about ready to get everything underway. It is a 4th all-time meeting between Westchester and Greenville. Westchester has yet to topple the Triumph. We'll see if they can get it done here tonight. Just wait, our referee Joshua Encarnacion's signal to get everything underway. And that we are. Greenville from right to left, Westchester from left to right. Both of these sides looking to knife sizable gaps between themselves and the playoff line with 3 points here. Sam Goldfarb, the former League One veteran, Ricky Lopez Espin on hand. Ricky, these 2 sides struggling on paper, but we've seen some momentum for Greenville, especially since the shape change.
The ability to drop into a back 5, which gives you wing backs. You're seeing Meek and Polak. They'll give you a little bit work rate, but also the width. When they do get to that final third, really good service to provide underneath those 2 players. And for Westchester, we talked about the performance against Fort Wayne. Oh, the better team and deserved more from that game.
Liadi wins this back up field. He is a tenacious presser. And an early throw for Greenville. Get the sense that maybe there's a long throw on the cards this early on. Not this time. Meek dances past Jimenez and out for the match's first corner, which is presented by Ice Air, keeping Westchester cool and comfortable. Set piece defending, a major point of emphasis for George Jokai's men, and I'm sure it would have been in front of mind after they saw Greenville bag their 2nd from a corner on Wednesday.
Especially with the quality of Tyler Polak, a wand of a left foot. Right on top of that 6-yard box, going to be the desired location in terms of this service here.
It's a 34-year-old in Polak. Plays in this in-swinger. It evades everyone in the Greenville green. And just a goal kick. That is a Westchester side that, as we mentioned, 9 winless across all competitions entering tonight. The last victory in that span, the April 8th triumph against Sarasota Paradise. But you mentioned it, partner, moments ago. Very promising display against Fort Wayne, jumping in front with the bicycle kick from Connor McGlynn, an instant goal, the week contender. And if not for that late lapse defensively, they would have claimed those 3 points.
They need the ability to close out results, especially when you're talking about how ruthless USL League One is. A lot of time it's those fine margins. Games are won and lost in both boxes. So that is something that if you are Westchester and you do have the ability to go ahead, you need to learn from last match.
And there is your look at George Jokai, the first-year head coach who's been a fixture of the Westchester community for years. A former head coach at Purchase College in Division III, not to mention playing a key role in the eventual building of the NYCFC inaugural roster back in the day. It was a key piece of the scouting network for them. So he knows a thing or 2 about local talent, and he's reconstructed the team in that image. A number of players with Westchester ties, either from the college level or being from there originally. Still have yet to see them string results together, though. Said this week that Wednesday night was an example of a strong display in which they showed out of the open run of play, they can contend with anyone in USL League One. But he's just mentioned slight lapses in tactical astuteness that have cost them results. The question will be if they can shore that up for a prolonged period of time and start to turn some of these drop points into victories. This is Bauman. Loses it out of play. There's Chapa Herrera. Year 3 with Greenville and has been a key cog since joining from El Paso. Paddy. That's clever from Liati. And ultimately just back to Luca Marinelli, who's made the #1 goalkeeping position his own in Andrew Hammersley's absence. Was signed initially on a 25-day deal when Hammersley and Matias Molina went down with injury, and he's been the mainstay for the better part of the last month. Someone who is a quality shot stopper, sometimes though his size or lack thereof will let him down on set pieces, and that's where they're trying to deputize defensively. McGlynn charging ahead. Can't pick out Miguel Diaz. Mal Knight is known for navigating himself into some spots of bother, but he did okay there.
Nervy moments when trying to play this ball back for Greenville, so if you are the home side, you have to recognize that and continue to test this defensive set here for Greenville, especially when they do play negative.
Evans sprays this long to Liati, who is onside, and he keeps it in play marvelously. Liati cutting it across. It's not dealt with just yet. Accio. Herrera. Polak. Into the half space for Devin Boyce, who's always creative. Accio. First time hit does not come off.
Good bit of possession here from Greenville, playing quick, 1-2 touch and having numbers centrally. Love what we've seen between Accio and Liati, the relationship and understanding between the two players high up the field, putting some pressure here on Westchester's back line.
And it's yet another corner for Greenville. Has been a progressive start from the visitors. And that corner kick presented by Ice Air, keeping Westchester cool and comfortable. It's more target practice for Polak. Floats this in toward the back post. It's over the head of Fricky, and Boyce loses it out of play. It's now time for our keys to the match, presented by Health First.
For Westchester, it's all about winning the midfield battle because George Yokai is the coach that wants to dictate tempo. So if you find success centrally, then you play in this game on your terms. And for Greenville, you need to be compact defensively. You continue to talk about that back 5 or back 3. You allow Westchester to have the ball in front of you, never behind you or breaking through you.
We will see how these two teams fare in those regards. So far, Greenville has seemingly won that battle, and that's surprising because talking to Dave Dixon this week, he's mentioned how over the course of the last month or so, there's been a very premeditated shift to a 5-back system, which is very anti-Greenville. They're more content to be without the ball, absorb pressure and counter, and it was their pièce de la résistance, if you will, of their tactical masterclass on Wednesday against Loudoun. And think back to the teams of Greenville's past, the sides that were the protagonist every week and dominated possession. It is very different from that, but it has been effective with back-to-back wins now.
A little bit of a different look for Dave Dixon. It's all about being efficient and knowing the type of players and profiles that you have within your roster. You're looking at a player like Polak, Segrist, who's not in the team here, Meek on the right-hand side. They're going to give you that work rate, and that gives you the ability to have 5-back or 3-back, but also
Boyce's cross in. Marinelli can only punch it. He's still off his line. Some nervy moments for Westchester at the back. There may be another one here. Evans crosses it. Boyce doesn't run it down.
Now you just see the amount of wind on the field here. You could hear it in the field mic, and notice the corner flags as well. So when you do put the ball into a dangerous area, maybe take a little bit off of it and having the ability to adapt to the wind.
12-mile-an-hour winds, 78 degrees, 59% humidity. A classic summer night here in the Northeast. This is floated long, and Kyle Evans won't have any space to run that down. But back to the conversation of Greenville's tactical shifts. You tend to see teams year to year alter their team based on their personnel. And of course, with Rick Wright retiring this offseason, a new manager coming in Dave Dixon, you would have thought there would be some tweaks. But in season, you don't tend to see an adjustment of philosophy this dramatic. Polak is out-muscled by Jennings there. Does go out for another corner.
And also give credit to Dave Dixon to have the confidence to even think about changing a formation in terms of tactics, understanding that his players will have the ability to grab that idea and execute it. And so far, so good when changing into this 3 or 4, 5-back system.
It has coincided with back-to-back victories to open the doors at their new GE Vernova Park, including a clean sheet against Forward Madison in the inaugural match there on June 3rd. It's another corner here for Devin Boyce. In-swinger. Overhit for everyone, and these set-piece deliveries simply have not been up to snuff.
And it's been the same thing, whether it is from this near side or far side, from Polak and Boyce overhitting it. Again, the wind's obviously playing a factor in set pieces for Greenville.
Pierre has been shifted into more of a fullback the last few weeks. George Jokai mentioning how he likes his ability and willingness to roam forward and that aggression that perhaps other left back options this season haven't displayed. They've been waiting for a fullback that can provide attacking punch since the departure of Josh Drack early in the campaign to Portland. I feel Pierre can maybe provide that as the year unfolds. Evans is drifting again and plays it wide. There's plenty of options for Jimenez to aim at, and he cuts it across for Max Jennings, who never contacted it cleanly.
Phenomenal patience from Evans here to break a line, and I love the aggressiveness, but this touch right here for Jimenez just blows by Brandon Fricke as you step into it. And if you are Jennings, you need to put this on frame with a little bit more venom. Almost second guesses himself. You need to put your laces through and just get clean contact, because if you do, you put Knight under a lot of pressure. Really good, well done in terms of the attacking action from Westchester, breaking through that defensive set.
Knight passing his first test between the sticks, the 32-year-old who has been a fixture of USL League One for the last 4 years. It's been a slight goalkeeping controversy of sorts in Greenville. Amal Knight opening the year as the starter, then he goes on international duty with Jamaica, and Seth Torman gets the nod. But since Knight has returned, he's started to recapture that spot between the sticks, although it is still really close according to Dave Dixon. So as the year unfolds, you may see Seth Torman get more opportunities. Evan Lee, ranging forward from the outside center back position he's been deployed in. That's a loose pass. Diaz. Effectively operating as a false 9 this evening. So much fluidity on this Westchester front line. The likes of Diaz, Guzin, Evans, Jimenez, all of whom can roam rather interchangeably. There's a lack of a true 9 out there at the moment. Here's Evans. Guzin. And it's far too tight on Knight. Boyce. Liotti clips this in behind, and Meek runs out of real estate. Jimenez.
Good run.
Evans is onside, and he split the center backs. Too many touches. It falls though again. Another chance for Westchester, and it's capitalized on brilliantly. Miguel Diaz on the score sheet, and the Golden Apple lead.
Over the last 5 minutes, Westchester has found a little bit of a rhythm, playing in between lines and exposing this back line of Greenville Triumph. You get numbers high up the field, and you have a real sense of venom. Love the secondary movement from Diaz as his ball pops out. Notice this touch to set up his defender. Right there, create a little bit of separation. You get your hips squared and just simply wrap your right foot around it. Phenomenal placement towards this far post. No chance for Knight. This will give you the best look at it here. Just ropes this ball. Wonderful goal for Diaz, and Westchester take the lead here at home.
It is Diaz's first professional goal, and it is a lovely tally at that. The 25-year-old in the midst of his first professional contract with Westchester, but someone who has been a known commodity to George Jokai for quite some time. Spent time in Westchester Flames' system in the USL 2 ranks, also was a standout in college at St. John's. Someone that George Jokai has heard about from the St. John's coaching staff for years. He said he did not hesitate to bring him in the second he took the job, and he's been thrilled with his output when healthy and available. And finally, Diaz with reward on the score sheet. So how about that, Ricky? A Greenville side that opened on the front foot, very antithetical to the way they played the last two matches, and now they pay the price against the counter.
Well, it's been about 2 times now that midfield line of Greenville have been really easily played through. So if you are Dave Dixon, you have to have a communication, whether it is Evans, Boyce, or Herrera, to drop a little bit deeper, because right now the space in between lines is just far too big, allowing Westchester to really operate in.
That was a big conversation point with Dave Dixon this week. He mentioned the whole reason they shifted to a 5-back was to shrink the amount of space the center backs would have to cover, and also afford the likes of Evans or Herrera the opportunity to jump and step and try and win the ball back.
And if you do step, you have to be clever when you do, because if you do step at the wrong time, now you have a disadvantage in terms of numbers centrally, and that's exactly what the biggest key for Westchester was, right? Winning that midfield battle. How can you manipulate the single pivot, which is Herrera? Then you really put pressure on this back three of Greenville with those 3 center backs.
They picked him apart with Greenville stretched. Now the Triumph with work to do. They'll have to climb from behind to get back into this. Herrera. Liotti. Greenville's joint top goal scorer with 3 goals on the campaign. Evans. Herrera floats this into the mix, just beyond Liotti, but a good idea.
The difficult technique for Herrera to get it up and over that last line of defense, right in front of the goalkeeper. Not a lot of real estate to drop that ball in.
For those that are just joining us, we welcome you into Westchester County. Has been an eventful week for New York sports fans. Of course, last night, the New York Knicks winning the NBA championship. Tyler Adams, a known fan on the U.S. men's national team, also a part owner of Westchester SC. So congratulations to him and Knicks fans across the country. And now they get to cap off their weekend with some high-level football in USL League One.
The dream.
Can't think of a better way to spend your Sunday. Boyce rolls back to Luca Marinelli.
with how high Greenville is starting their defensive block. There needs to be a vertical movement from Westchester, someone that can test the shape and run in behind, because right now, 3 center backs extremely high for the visiting side.
Westchester finally settling on it. They've enjoyed a larger share of the possession since the opening 7-8 minutes. Now McGlynn pings it wide. Jimenez. It's well too far for Diaz. Fans, it's now time for tonight's injury report presented by Northwell Health. A trio of players that are unavailable for Greenville. It's Bub, Sims, and Benton all out with long-term injuries. None officially reported for Westchester. And getting back to full health, they're hearing word that Stephen Payne, who's been out for quite some time, is about a few days away from being able to make a full return. There was some hope that maybe he'd be able to factor in this weekend. Well, 20 minutes gone here in Westchester County, and for those of you joining us, we thank you for tuning in. You see that scoreline on your screen right now, 1-0 to Westchester. Miguel Diaz, the difference maker. And on the subjects of Knicks fans, I had a long conversation with George Jokai this week, and he said he was walking around Manhattan the other day during the NBA Finals. And he said, I just want to go down the block and just get a drink. Like a Snapple or something. And he said that the energy in the city was palpable. He said not even in the 90s when they were in the finals did it feel this way. I think now that it's all paid off with a championship, that makes sense.
I was looking on social media, the amount of people in the streets, hanging off traffic lights, jumping on cars, doing I don't know what else, but absolute scenes in New York.
I'm sure it was a celebratory night for many of the supporters of New York sports. Well, fans, Westchester Soccer Club is excited to partner with Redefined Meals, our go-to destination for fresh, healthy, prepared meals. Scan the QR code on the screen for a free meal at Redefined Meals in Hartsdale. Diaz.
Good recovery there from Herrera, really well done. You cannot allow Diaz just to get on the half turn there and again run at your back line. Struggling right now, Greenville, to find any sort of rhythm and play through the thirds.
In a way, it feels like, despite the fact that they've been without the ball for quite some time, they're not very defensively compact either, and I don't think that's the balance Dave Dixon is hoping to toe right now.
And if you're going to be a team that's going to press and it's going to want to engage a little bit higher, you need to do it together. Because right now, whether it is Liati or Boyce pushing a little bit high, they're isolated, they're on an island. So that allows Connor McGlynn just to play off of their shoulder, get on the half turn, and then you engage another midfielder, which is Herrera or Evans, and they're late, so then it's just a trickle-down effect with one opportunity to not stay compact.
Evans loses out there. Here's Liati. Bauman tracks him step for step. Lost in the shuffle of Westchester's conversation. Defensively, they have struggled, and that's the biggest part of the reason why they do rank towards the bottom of the league table once again this year. A side that's conceded 17 goals on the year and has struggled to protect leads once again in league and cup play. But it's also important to note, been through plenty of turnover. We already mentioned the injury situation in goal, but also no Rashid Teta for quite some time. So Daniel Baumann, who is more of a deep-lying midfielder, has been asked to fill in at center back for the better part of the last month. That's a defense-splitting ball from McGlynn. Jimenez is onside. Knight makes a quality save, and it's just about scuffled free. But another real chance for Westchester.
This is where Connor McGlynn is at his best. The ability to pick up his head and ping a ball over 50, 60 yards on a dime. Good placement. As Jimenez struggles a little bit to secure this ball. That's a good save from Knight, coming off of his line really quick, making himself big. The left leg at the last second just sticks out and denies what could have been the second.
Westchester still pushing on in pursuit. Evans's cross finds Jimenez, who's been an involved presence early on.
The right arm of Jimenez catches. We got the aftermath there.
He's floated ahead to Evans, who is now offside. Starting to get a touch testy. You can sense both these teams are craving 3 points. It's a Greenville side that, as we showed you off the top, went winless in the months of April and May. 5 losses in 6 matches in that span, and also went through a prolonged period without a league game. Didn't play a league game for almost a month in that span. So they've been trying to regroup since, and we've already mentioned the successes of the last 2 matches. Dave Dixon was so thrilled with their best performance of the year, is what he dubbed it on Wednesday. They have yet to carry that over to Westchester. It is a Greenville side as well that has yet to win away from home, so battling some demons of past matches here. Evans goes down in the area. The referee is unmoved by the contact. Well, here's McGlynn. It's just a metronome in midfield for Westchester, and has been since the club's inception a year ago. Guzin. Jennings. I don't think he expected that ball to come his way.
Just an awkward ball from Guzin. If you are going to play Jennings, you need to play earlier. Not expecting it, and when you do play it, it's underneath his feet. Good read from Tyler Polak, and good challenge, and a clean one.
Here's Evans. Lost it along the byline. Well, Ricky, if you are Greenville, how do you establish any semblance of a foothold in this?
You keep the game simple, right? If you are a player that plays centrally, looking at Herrera, who is a leader within the profile player that he is for Dave Dixon, when he does get on the ball, connect the game. You need to have a little bit more variability in terms of your movement as well, because right now everything that we've seen from Greenville has been in front of this Westchester back line.
Well, fans, you can turn to ESPN2 on Wednesday, June 17th for USL League One battle. Forward Madison look to regain momentum against surging Fort Wayne FC at 8 p.m. Eastern. Catch all of the action on ESPN2 June 17th. We got a chance to see Fort Wayne Wednesday night. Wasn't their finest performance, but they scrapped a point over the line, and it's a prolonged unbeaten run now for Mike Avery's men. They're the highest placed expansion club in the league table as things stand. It's a late challenge from Armas. And Herrera was the penalized party, or grieved party. Evans, one of the top chance creators of the last 2 seasons in USL League One. His tactical versatility has been something that all of his managers have raved about. He can play right back in the heart of midfield. Herrera floats this forward. It's broken up that time by McGlynn.
Only the second time that we've seen Liati make that run off the shoulder of this Westchester back line. Good little pick out from Herrera, just underhits it a little bit, but good idea.
He's not been shy about pinging that 30-yard pass forward, trying to split the center backs. Seems like he's arrowing closer and closer to his intended target. Boyce. Second stint with Greenville after 2 years with Ford Madison. Former All-League second team selection in 2024. Still hoping to rediscover that form back in his old threads. Liati, it's an adventurous ball to Accio. Too much to do with it. Well, fans, you can enter the Prinks Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on screen and enter today. Half hour in the books from Westchester County. Sam Goldfarb alongside the former League One standout Ricky Lopez-Espin. As things stand, it is Miguel Diaz, the difference maker, on 15 minutes. A well-worked move that led to a terrific finish. And now they're hunting more carnage, but Knight this time is off his line. Liati sent tumbling. So a set piece that Connor Evans can ask questions with. Second-year man out of the University of Portland. Last season, joint 7th in the league in assists. Has yet to record a goal contribution in league play this year. But he did score his first goal of the season on Saturday with that header. Jimenez. Diaz. Guzin in acres of space now, and with Evans in support. Does play him. This is Kyle Evans strolling forward. Armas. Clips it toward the back post and headed in! Max Jennings doubles the lead, and the Golden Apple in full control.
Good patience shown here from Westchester as this ball rotates back across. Love the aggressiveness from Armas to continue to be positive and take that second and that third touch. But this is all about the movement from Jennings. As his ball gets slipped to this back post, he plays off the blind side of Lee. He never sees him, never peeks over his left shoulder, and there's simply no rotation from Meek on the weak side. Well done in terms of the timing, and a powerful header from the right back to push it by Knight. And everyone here loving what they're seeing from Westchester to double their lead.
The 914th Infantry rejoicing. This is the first lead that Westchester has held against Greenville in the last 3 meetings, and Max Jennings doubles it there. The 24-year-old who spent last season with Real Monarchs joining Westchester on January 26th. And George Jokai raves about him, says he's a high-character individual, someone who is so tenacious at right back and now starting to provide some forward-thinking punch. And there is the evidence. He gets on the score sheet for the first time in league play this year with a towering header. And the Golden Apple have a vice grip on this. Remember, it is a Westchester side that has never defeated Greenville. A loss and a draw a year ago. They were dominated on this very ground last summer against the Triumph. Not to mention, fell behind 4-0 at Greenville on March 29th before bagging 2 consolation tallies. What a flip of the script this has been. Accio. His cross is awkward and ultimately knuckles the wrong way.
Just not enough quality right now for Greenville. Once they do get in around that 18-yard box, not enough numbers or connection. Accio or Liati, every single time they get on the ball, they're caught on an island versus about 3 or 4 Westchester defenders.
It feels like these 10 minutes will be pivotal in determining the outcome of the match because remember, Westchester, especially a season ago, had a knack for dropping points from winning positions. This year, it's 4 points dropped in league play from winning setups. But they lead by multiple goals, and I don't believe they've had the disfortune of letting a 2-goal lead slip this season. A year ago, they led 2-0 at home against Davie Alta, and I think it's best unsaid what happened after that. That almost a year ago to this day. Guzin. Marinelli in an awkward position, but he handles it admirably. Is it fair to say Greenville just looks disjointed across the board?
And just too separated from line to line for this Greenville side. And in possession, just far too slow. The tempo has been lacking. That killer instinct has been lacking from the home side, from the visiting side, excuse me.
They've yet to record a key chance of note. Luca Marinelli has been the less busy of the 2 keepers by a mile. In fact, he's not faced a shot on target so far. Pierre nearly created a problem winning that back upfield. I mentioned it off the top, but George Jokai mentioned to us this week that he said the Fort Wayne match was evidence of a trend he has seen on a number of occasions this season. He feels that out of the open run of play, they can hang with anyone in the league. Just believes that there have been too many lapses outside that have cost them. So far, they've looked pretty focused through the opening half hour and beyond. Jennings, the most recent goal scorer for Westchester. Armas. Now you're starting to see the press at least speed up Westchester here, and I think that was the goal coming in from Dave Dixon. The counter press would have been pivotal. Diaz is impeded. Well, fans, don't miss your chance to be part of the action when Westchester hosts Portland at 7 p.m. Eastern on Friday, June 19th. Tickets are on sale now. It's a Portland side that was dealt heartbreak last night. Came from behind to level the scoreline against Chattanooga and then fell to death in another thriller at Fitzy. Bobby Murphy still looking to piece things together for his bunch. Armas.
Good turn.
Jennings bypasses Polak and has options as well. He clips this in. Falls for Jimenez. Back for Kyle Evans. Always rising.
Just takes a little bit too long, Jennings, to make a decision here. As you take that second and third second, that allows Greenville to drop a little bit deeper. And just notice the shoulders of Evans as he approaches this ball. He's leaning back, gets underneath it, and pushes it up and over the crossbar. But once you do break that initial line of pressure, you need to go quick. Once you take that touch out of your body for Jennings, that is when you need to smash this ball across to that 6-yard box to put more pressure on Greenville's back line.
He's a supremely talented player, Kyle Evans, but he went pro after just 3 years of college, still 20 years old. George Jokai says he's got the world at his feet, someone who has stardust dripped all over him. But at times, the final product hasn't quite materialized this season.
Well, it makes life easier for an attacking player as well when you have the efficiency to take a touch out of your body and just whip a ball in, because your timing is a lot easier. Right, because then players have to recycle the run. They're not really sure when you're going to serve this ball in, and that's exactly what happened with that last action.
It was a trend. Westchester taking one too many touches in the final third Wednesday. As Boyce wins this back and cuts it back for Liotti, who narrowly misses that chance. That may have been their avenue back into things.
That is a dream opportunity for Liotti here. Good work from Lee as Boyce picks this up. The recognition to cut this ball back, that needs to be on target. You're about 7 yards out. Good first touch. Do not break your stride. It likes to go for power. If you just open up your foot and just pass it into that far post, it's 1-1, or excuse me, 2-1 here.
28-year-old Liotti, their joint top goal scorer with a trio of tallies, bagged 2 of those in the last Westchester meeting. 3 of the goals Westchester allowed in that fixture were classified as gifts by both coaches. There were errors playing out of the back as a byproduct of Greenville's press that put them behind the 8 ball early and often. So far tonight, with the exception of that sequence, Westchester has cut down on those miscues. Lee. Patty. Herrera. It's a teasing ball. It's one that Jennings reads to perfection, though. Inside the final 5 minutes now in this first half. Westchester with a commanding advantage at the moment. Evans pings this in. There was a foul in the midst of that build-up. A yellow card shown as well. Evans is the one arguing with our lead official.
A little bit late here from Evans as he recognizes that Evans on the other side comes in late. Good refereeing from Joshua Encarnacion to play advantage and realize you have to bring it back. Golden opportunity to cut the lead in half here for Greenville.
Evans on Evans' offense. And now a
little
free
bit of
kick.
tongue twister there.
Yeah, I tripped myself up. At the moment, Connor Evans is not in the midst of this free kick, so he can lessen the confusion for us.
Plethora of options here as Boyce does stand over it. Either go solo towards that near post, lifted toward that far post with his center backs.
It is Boyce who goes for goal, and he forces a decent stop out of Marinelli. That's the first shot on target of the night for Greenville.
Hits it well. Boyce does. A lot of pace, venom, as his ball does beat the wall. Good recognition from Marinelli. Textbook goalkeeping to push it wide. Really good save.
It's another corner kick. Greenville starting to rack these up. Pollock with in swing. And again evades everyone in green. That has been the story of the first half for the Triumph.
And that's the best service that we've seen from a corner kick for Greenville. Just no one unable to get on the end of it.
It is an interesting transition period for Greenville. This is a club that was officially announced ahead of USL League One's launch in 2019, and they've been a mainstay in the division ever since. The third team ever to join the division, made the playoffs up through the 2024 season. Each of their first 6 campaigns were mainstays in the postseason, won the title in 2020 as well. But the last year and a half or so has been shaky. Last year missing the postseason for the first time ever. And this season, a very shaky start in league play in which they've won just 3 of their first 9 and sit well beneath the playoff line at the moment. If this holds, they would drop below Westchester to 16th of 17 teams in the league table. That would be the lowest they've ever been positioned in the league. Still have the talent, though, to string results together. Boyce.
Good read.
Expertly done, and maybe a chance to break now. Diaz turns on the afterburners. And he has one a corner.
It's been really bright. Diaz for Westchester's work rate defensively and the aggressiveness to drive at the back line. Meek does a good job in terms of his recovery run.
Sets up Westchester with a corner presented by Ice Air, keeping Westchester cool and comfortable. And our stoppage time in this first half, which is presented by Mar & Mar, is just 2 minutes. So this likely Westchester's last or penultimate chance to add a third before intermission. Armas within swing. He's headed away. And the referee blows play dead for the moment, and a red card is shown. It appears Amal Knight has lashed out at Bobby Pierre. And that may force Greenville into an emergency situation. It is Amal Knight who's gotten his marching orders. And Greenville down to 10 for the remainder of this one.
I have to imagine it's frustration from Knight here. There is a lot of bodies right in front of the goalkeeper. Is it the initial right there? Then he drops his elbow into the side of the head from Pierre. Not quite sure what the conversation is. As you know, VAR here in USL League One, so whatever Joshua Encarnacion decides is the end, as Greenville will be down to 10 players for the remainder of this game.
Well, they'll be forced into a change. Seth Torben will likely replace him. Take another look.
Yeah, right there, it's a kick out. Fantastic work from our crew here to see as the ball's gone. Knight knows exactly what he's doing. That, in fact, is a right call from Joshua Encarnacion. No need from the goalkeeper.
It's just rash, especially given the situation they find themselves in. Now Bobby Pierre is shaken up. In real discomfort after Amal Knight recklessly kicked out at him in the middle of that corner kick sequence.
Watch as Pierre goes down. Middle of your screen, he's down the right leg from the goalkeeper right here. Good call, and the right call. Hopefully Pierre's okay to continue on in this match. Not a good sign if you are Westchester, but simply no need for Greenville, and the frustration there from the goalkeeper.
You now see Seth Torman as well, warming up for Greenville. In the middle of all of that, a penalty's been given, so Westchester with a chance to make it 3-0 before the break. Seth Torman will likely sub in. It's just a question of who now gets sacrificed, as Pierre is being helped off the pitch and still seems in real discomfort.
Just silly from Knight. The ball's gone. No need. You're right before halftime to regroup. Goes from bad to worse here for Greenville Triumph.
That'll set up Connor McGlynn, who is 2 of 2 from the spot this year. Already has 6 goals to his name. So the change takes place. Lucas Meek, the wing back, is the man sacrificed as Seth Torment enters. Greenville down to 10 for the remainder of this one, and it could be down 3 goals after one swing of Connor McGlynn's boot. Meanwhile, Pierre is still being tended to on the touchline.
Shooting for Westchester is number 6, Connor McGlynn.
After he was kicked in the back of the leg by him all night. So quite the introduction now for Seth Torment. 27-year-old who joined from LA Force in February. McGlynn stares him down, and McGlynn drives it home. 3-0 to Westchester, and that may all but seal it. Connor McGlynn on the score sheet for the 2nd straight week.
Good composure shown here from Connor McGlynn. Steps up, a little bit of a stutter step, but notice the amount of pace on behind this ball. Picks his pocket and hits it extremely clean. Homer guesses the right way, but the placement to perfection. 3-0 at home for Westchester.
McGlynn now a perfect 3 of 3 from the spot this year. It is goal number 6 on the USL League One campaign for the standout midfielder, who's enjoyed plenty of attacking punch. And he's someone who just does a little bit of everything for Westchester. They can play him deeper in his natural holding midfield role. Last week, George Jokai opting to move him further forward in the 10 role. He just does whatever's asked of him, and it doesn't hurt that he's clinical at the spot as well.
He has a real sense of class, Connor McGlynn. And what a dream first half this has been for Westchester, deserving of the scoreline, the better side, dominating possession, more threatening the opposition goal. Big second half coming up for Greenville. You need to show a little bit of fight and personality if you have any hope of climbing yourself back.
Full-scale obliteration maybe on the cards here. 3 different goal scorers, and Westchester with an eyebrow-raising 3-0 lead at halftime. We'll take a quick breather here from Mount Vernon. When we return from Westchester County, we get a look around USL League One. It's all swimming here in Westchester. Everyone's smiling in the blue. Stick with us. We'll be right back from Mount Vernon.
At Redefined Meals, we're not just making prepared meals. We're redefining them and raising the bar for what they can be.
Every dish begins with real ingredients, crafted fresh each day, redefining what real cooking means for busy lives.
Discover over 70 chef-crafted meals, freshly made, thoughtfully balanced, and surprisingly affordable.
Good food shouldn't slow you down. It should keep you going. No prep, no stress.
Redefine the way you dine.
Eligible for Medicare? Here's a great new reason to be happy. You may qualify for money-saving programs that could lower your Medicare costs. Just talk to a Health First specialist about programs like Extra Help, Epic, and more. To learn how New Yorkers like you can save, call 1-844-434-6399. Health First Medicare Advantage Plans, where healthy starts.
Come on, get happy.
Raising health means elevating the care that we can get in our backyard. The Westchester Soccer Club is part of the United Soccer League that has now expanded into Westchester.
It's a brand new USL One team competing all across the country, bringing the love for the sport of soccer to the area.
Northwell is going to provide them the best care possible, going to the games, making sure that we're on site for each home game. If an injury pops up, we get those players in immediately.
The partnership between the Westchester Soccer Club and Northwell Health is very exciting.
Northwell's vision is to raise health. So we offer the full gamut of orthopedic services, serving the community in Westchester. That's where my family lives, that's where I live, and that's my purpose here.
We welcome you back to Westchester County, where at halftime, the Golden Apple in full control as they hunt their first ever victory over Greenville Triumph. Well, it is World Cup time. The country is engulfed in World Cup fever, and the USL is playing a key role in providing the base camps for a number of World Cup squads. Check this out.
Before the World Cup can begin, 48 national teams need a home, and home is a lot more than a practice field.
They wanted a beautiful grass field and in a sort of secure facility with great access to gyms and all the other pieces around.
Dan Rutstein had the honor of handing the keys to Orange County SC's entire facility to the U.S. men's national team. Why does it matter to you to have the U.S. national team at your facility?
Look, if you can't get excited about a World Cup, then we shouldn't be in this business. It's obviously an enormous opportunity. We're happy for them. It's a great facility. We're happy for us. We're happy for our fans. So we can be talked about in the same breath as the home nation in a home World Cup.
Orange County is joined by the Oakland Roots, who will host the Australian national team, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies hosting first-time World Cup team Cape Verde. When clubs spend multiple weeks in one building, the facility must accommodate an entire support system, not just the players. In a large country like the United States, travel can take a toll. Cape Verde's Tampa home sets up short flights to Atlanta, Miami, and Houston for its group matches. Australia will play matches in Vancouver, Seattle, and nearby Santa Clara. The U.S. team's longest journey is Seattle, sandwiched between two group matches in Los Angeles. But as the World Cup takes place, it's business as usual for the USL Championship. For Orange County, a worthwhile temporary adjustment.
We're still training next door. The short-term pain of being not allowed to use our stadium for the medium and long-term gain of working with the US national team, we could never say no to an opportunity like that.
Unimpeded, get hold of it, and go for goal and score! This one flashed in front toward goal! Oh, what a start for
You ever just look at them and think, yeah, I'm doing all right.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
300. That's about how many events the Community Police Relations Foundation has done in just the last year.
Tens of thousands of positive interactions between law enforcement and the communities they serve. We exist to break down barriers, to humanize the badge, to foster trust, understanding, and lasting relationships. It's changing how communities see the uniform every single day. Together, we can redefine the story and turn 300 moments of connection into tomorrow's 3,000.
Welcome back to Westchester County, where the Golden Apple fans are smiling on this Sunday night. A 3-0 advantage over the Greenville Triumph as they hunt their first victory against their visiting foes. It's now time to get a look at our halftime update. Dan Lucas has more.
It is halftime in League One. We hope you're enjoying the match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines. In winning their first League One match in Week 14, Corpus Christi FC made some history. That 3-2 win is the second match in League One history to finish with 2 goals in stoppage time to erase a 2-1 deficit. The Richmond Kickers did it in 2022. Red Hot Sarasota Paradise collected its third straight win with a 2-0 USL Cup victory over FC Naples, the battle in paradise. 18-year-old goalkeeper Roxon Amadeka earned his first professional shutout en route to League One Team of the Week. Entering this week's schedule, Charlotte Independence is on a 5-match win streak in all competitions, and Luis Alvarez has played a big part with 5 goals and 2 assists in that stretch. The 2024 Young Player of the Year has a career-high goal total already this season with 6. Upcoming national spotlight games on ESPN2, Forward Madison and Fort Wayne on the 17th. Saturday the 20th, Round 4 of the Prinks Tires USL Cup begins with Detroit City and Louisville City. And also that night, Las Vegas Lights in Orange County on CBS Sports Network, that game in the championship. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
It is a busy slate in USL League One. This match caps off the match week, and it was a loaded Saturday. You look at some of the standout results. Portland falling at the death. Meanwhile, Boise gets battered in Madison.
Yeah, what a result that is for Forward Madison, welcoming Nate Miller and scoring 5 against AFC Boise. Sarasota Paradise, they take down Omaha. Emiliano Terizaghi gets his first goal in a Paradise jersey, and One Knox just continues on as they take down the Cosmos.
This caps off an 8-match weekend in USL League One, and right now Westchester firmly in the driver's seat. Up 3 goals and up a man as well. We'll step aside when we return to look back at how it all unfolded in Westchester.
At Redefined Meals, we're not just making prepared meals. We're redefining them and raising the bar for what they can be.
Every dish begins with real ingredients, crafted fresh each day, redefining what real cooking means for busy lives.
Discover over 70 chef-crafted meals, freshly made, thoughtfully balanced, and surprisingly affordable.
Good food shouldn't slow you down. It should keep you going. No prep, no stress.
Redefine the way you dine.
Eligible for Medicare? Here's a great new reason to be happy. You may qualify for money-saving programs that could lower your Medicare costs. Just talk to a Health First specialist about programs like Extra Help, Epic, and more. To learn how New Yorkers like you can save, call 1-844-434-6399. Health First Medicare Advantage Plans, where healthy starts.
Come on, get happy.
300. That's about how many events the Community Police Relations Foundation has done in just the last year.
Tens of thousands of positive interactions between law enforcement and the communities they serve. We exist to break down barriers, to humanize the badge, to foster trust, understanding, and lasting relationships. It's changing how communities see the uniform every single day. Together, we can redefine the story and turn 300 moments of connection into tomorrow's 3,000.
Back here in Mount Vernon, where at halftime, Westchester in full control against Greenville Triumph. They lead 3-0 through 45 minutes of play. And now it's time to get a look back at how it all unfolded. Westchester just clinical in the final third, and then the red card causing things to unravel late.
And it starts in the 15th minute. Diaz He's the one who finds the opener, but notice top side of your screen how this ball pops out. This touch to create separation between him and Lee. Really well done. Sets his feet up nicely and just ropes this ball into that far post. There's simply no chance for Knight to come across and make a save. Really well done to open up the goal scoring for Westchester here.
It was Diaz's first professional goal, and then Max Jennings opened his League One account as well.
Right, Conor McGlynn puts his ball wide as the movement from Evans continues on. Armas put this ball to that far post, and Jennings does a good job at playing off the shoulder of Lee. He never peeks over. There's just simply no help on the weak side. A really good header to double the lead for Westchester.
And then things got chaotic at the end of the first half. This is just needless from them all night, and then Westchester added a third.
As Pierre goes down, the goalkeeper kicks out. Notice right here, the right leg, simply no need, just pure frustration and really silly. As he sees red, now Greenville's down a player, and Conor McGlynn from 12 yards out, automatic. 3-0 in that first half for Westchester.
You look at the first half stats, and they definitely favor the Golden Apple. Less of the ball, but definitely more incisive on the break, and a 5-1 shot on goal advantage.
More effective, more threatening, the better side in both boxes. Westchester for Greenville. Now you have possession with a purpose, right? If you are Dave Dixon, you're looking around your locker room and challenging the players to show a little bit of personality and fight to find a way back into this match.
Now it's time for our second half lineup for Westchester Soccer Club, which is presented as well by RXR Realty, Westchester Soccer Club's first choice for housing solutions. That is the starting lineup, and it is the same lineup that will begin the second half unless there are any changes. It does appear we may see Daniel Burko enter the action as he's just run on in the back of your frame. So that was the starting lineup. We'll see if it changes though. So Burko has entered. We will get word on who that's for momentarily. Miguel Diaz will get us back underway. It is Westchester 3-0 to the good, up a man after Amal Knight's rash decision to clatter into the back of Bobby Pierre on the corner. And we are back underway. Sam Goldfarb alongside the former League One standout Ricky Lopez-Espin. And Ricky, just a clinical first half from Westchester, and Greenville has their work cut out for them if they hope to get anything from this.
And the better side of that first half for Westchester, going to try to continue that momentum and really put more pressure on this Greenville back line. This is the type of performance and result that can start to create some real momentum for this home side.
When you look at the numbers for Westchester, their 2 league wins this season have both come by multiple goals. In fact, their record in one-score matches is actually quite shocking. 0-5 in one-goal games this year. 2-11 last season as well. That was a byproduct last year of blowing a lot of narrow leads and then ultimately dropping points from winning positions. This season, they've been in a lot of matches. George Jokai says he feels his side has been poised to compete tactically in almost every fixture, with the exception of the first Greenville meeting and the Boise trip in mid-April. In this one, they've been more than poised to compete. They've just been flat out the better side, and now they've caused frustration amongst the Greenville ranks as well. So 2 changes for Westchester. It's Charlie Dickerson, who's in for Bobby Pierre, and Daniel Burko also enters for Kyle Evans, both like for like at left back and right wing, respectively. Greenville, meanwhile, also made a change. It is the exit of Evan Lee, and his replacement comes in the form of Camito Fritz, who's more of an out-and-out fullback. So both teams making adjustments. Dave Dixon had a long time to think about how he would alter the complexion of his squad in the wake of Knight sending off. Was forced to sub on Tormund for Lucas Meek, who was the sacrifice in that instance. And now Lee exits for Fritz, who might boast a little more pace on the flanks.
And Evan Lee struggled in that first half. 2 out of the 3 goals were on his side, unable to close down the space for Diaz, and then as Jennings just simply runs in behind him, really struggled to find the rhythm of this game. Fritz comes in, he's going to play right next to Brandon Fricky, more of a right back type of player. We're seeing Greenville go into a 4-4-1 formation, down a player.
Too much tugging from McGlynn and Diaz. Fritz is 22-year-old out of Tokyo. Signed his first pro contract in January after 4 years at UNC Greensboro. A 4-year college career that came to a close at UNC Greensboro, excuse me. Someone that Dave Dixon is pretty high on. Liati. That's well over the bar. Well, George Jokai has to be thrilled with what he's seen from his side, although you look at his face and he's all business at the moment. I guess it's never truly done until you see the result over the line, and they've dealt with their fair share of struggles this season in instances in which they've led. Did have a 2-1 lead in the GWB Derby against New York Cosmos in their Prinks Cup clash in mid-May, and wound up falling with 2 goals in the final 10 minutes. It would take, though, a meltdown far bigger than this for Greenville to salvage anything. So there is your first look at Seth Torman outside the penalty. He joined Greenville last February and was an understudy for Gunther Rankenberg for the bulk of last year. It's more of an open goalkeeping competition, and tell you what, even though it comes in adverse circumstances, if there's ever a better opportunity as a goalkeeper for you to win the starting job back, it would be a situation like this. Dickerson. Ricky, as a player, when you're in a position like this, down 3-0, down a man, how do you even approach the final half of play?
Again, keeping the game simple is your best bet, right? You're obviously not going to see a lot of the ball. Going to do a lot of the defensive work throughout this next 45 minutes. So when you are on the ball, you need to be clean. You need to try to retain it. It's going to be a lot of battling, winning your individual duels, and really digging down deep. And that's not only a way to claw back into this game, but also to show and gain respect from your manager, understanding that when the tough times do come around, that he can rely on you, he can trust in you to put your best foot forward regarding whatever the circumstances are.
To your point, Dave Dixon has actually spoken about the importance of winning duels just generally. Felt the formation shift has allowed them to do that better, but in addition to that, early in the season, he felt the duel winning percentage was not up to snuff, so this is an opportunity to at least show progress in that department after a first half where it felt like they didn't win many duels of note.
And if you're at Westchester, yes, you are going to see a lot of the ball, and you are going to have more time and space when you are in possession, but you cannot allow complacency to creep in. Right, it sounds really simple that you do have a man advantage, but you need to take advantage of that. And how you do that, tempo quick, spacing as big as you possibly can, make the Greenville side do all of the chasing. When gaps start to open up, you penetrate, but you penetrate quick. So trying to be clean and efficient is a way that you can try to get your fourth here.
Throwing numbers forward, Armas has won a free kick. It's taken quickly. Jimenez. Cut inside for Guzin. He lost his footing in the area. The referee is not coming back to that challenge by any means. Liati. Fritz breaks the line there. This is Herrera. Works this ahead. And Akio chasing. And he does get there and takes it off Timchenko. Flashes it across. Boyce tussling with it. Lays it back off to Liati, who's undercut, and a free kick given just outside the penalty area.
Good work rate from Akio and Evans. Really unselfish here from Evans, just to lay it into the better body position of Liati. He steps into it, and a little bit of a bump here from Armas comes through as a foul. Silly from the midfielder. Tries to recover, drops his shoulder to the back of Liati. And these are the types of moments that you need to capitalize on if you are the Greenville Triumph, to try to get one back and give your side a little bit of life here.
This is one of their best set piece positions of the night. A lot of corners that have gone awry. Boyce did have one free kick from a similar position in the first half that he clattered off the wall. It's another look, this time closer against a 5-man Westchester wall. Now 5 becomes 4. Boyce, right off the wall again. Follow-up effort, underwhelming as well. Jimenez. Fouled Polak pretty evidently at that. It's played in by Evans. Doesn't clear the first line of defense. Comes out to Herrera though. Now Connor Evans again. Akio. Liati looking for the return ball. Does get there. Prolonged spell here from Greenville. Fricky is quite far forward from his defensive duties. Now Polak. There is no one there in green to greet that. We've kind of touched on this a little, but what a weekend for New York sports fans and Westchester fans as well, because of course Tyler Adams, the part owner of Westchester, playing for the U.S. men's national team and playing a key role in a pressing masterclass on Friday night against Paraguay in the World Cup. Then Saturday, the Knicks win an NBA championship, and Sunday, it's 3-0 the Westchester Soccer Club, and you're up, Ahmed. It is a dream weekend for the Westchester and New York Knicks fans in the greater Manhattan and greater New York City area.
Yeah, good time to be a New York fan. Sports fan, that is.
Almost can't mention it enough. I think a lot of New Yorkers are still in disbelief at the developments the last 2 nights. As Guzin is upended and the yellow card shown to Fricky. Believe it or not, that is just the second booking of the entire Greenville ledger.
As you're down a man, now you're overexposed. So if you are center back, you need to make a play on this ball for Brandon Fricky, just a little bit late at stepping in. None of the ball, all of the player, and goes into the book. It was something that you need to watch closely for the remainder of this game. The center back on a yellow card.
He is a seasoned vet, 34 years old. He's the first ever USL League One player for 15,000 minutes. This taken away, it's an error in the press, and a chance for Greenville to pull one back. Marinelli denying Liati, who lays it off to Boyce, just wide. And they're spared a major heart and mouth moment.
As Liati continues his run, Marinelli just reads him the whole way, and then a little bit of confusion, whether it is from Timchenko and Marinelli. Just not real convincing whatsoever. First from Asad Liati, you expect him to pick out a corner or even just go around the goalkeeper who's caught really high. Golden opportunity to get one here for Greenville.
Polak, it's only punched away. Herrera, Boyce. It was a clever idea. No final product though, and this is a chance to break now for Westchester. Diaz galloping ahead with a convoy of blue shirts as well. Goes in. He's slowed down, out to Burko.
Those are opportunities that you need to take advantage of again for Westchester. Guzin needs to continue with the momentum and play this ball to the weak side. Just tries to overcomplicate it and go back to Burko.
George Jokai has mentioned that some of his creative midfielders sometimes take one touch too many, and that was a big part of the reason why he played McGlynn in a more forward-thinking role on Wednesday, because he just makes the decisions a little more decisively.
A lot quicker, a lot more effective and cleaner within his technical capabilities as well.
Still might be a chance on here. Jennings. McGlynn. Now he plays the cross in. Burko heads it back across. Tapped on to Diaz. Well off the target, but not a bad idea. Well, fans, turn to ESPN2 on Wednesday, June 17th for a USL League One battle. Forward Madison look to regain momentum against surging Fort Wayne FC at 8 p.m. Eastern. Catch all of the action on ESPN2 June 17th. McGlynn is slow to get to his feet, and this is a concerning sight for Westchester fans. He is the man that makes everything tick for the Golden Apple. Get another look at the challenge. We've hit the hour mark, still 3-0 to Westchester. The goals scored by Diaz, Jennings, and then the penalty from Connor McGlynn after him all night. Rashly lashed out at Bobby Pierre in the penalty area on a corner. Guzin. Armas. With the exception of the one costly giveaway as they were building from the back, Westchester has managed this well. Seen some signs of life from Greenville the other way, though.
Just hasn't been clean enough from Guzin. It's a play that likes to operate in between lines, but has not been effective whatsoever throughout this match.
Does kickstart a build here. Jennings squirts it wide. Guzin again. He's continuing his run. Diaz with it now. Pokes it through to Daniel Burko, who's in. Tormund denies him. Burko chasing after it. Burko looking for another avenue and goes down, and the referee points to the spot. No hesitation from Joshua Encarnacion, and Westchester with an opportunity to make it 4.
As this ball comes to Burko, he's actually trying to play this back into Diaz. It's a sloppy first touch, but comes into his favor. As Tormund comes off of his line, makes a really good save. And then as this ball comes back in, soft feet from Burko. If you are a defender in your defensive 18-yard box, you need to continue to move your feet for Brandon Fricky. He's getting caught lunging in. There's contact. 12 yards out we go for the second pen for this Westchester side.
Keep in mind, Fricky's on a yellow card, so he's fortunate to avoid further punishment there. But another penalty for Westchester, and it's Daniel Burko, the man who won it, who will take it. Burko did score a penalty as part of a brace in the US Open Cup first round against NY Renegades in mid-March. 3 professional goals, but has yet to score in USL League One play. And now Seth Torman faces another penalty, this time on the opposite side of halftime. And it's saved by Torman. He's doing a lot of good to help his case to start beyond next week. McGlynn. Cleared to Dickerson, who nearly ran into some trouble there.
As a player, all you can ask for is an opportunity, regardless of how it comes. Torman has done a phenomenal job throughout this second half here.
Denies Daniel Burko, who is a clinical finisher, someone who at Hofstra scored double-digit goals this past fall for a side that reached the round of 16 of the NCAA tournament. And during that run, scored against his former team in Syracuse in the opening round before playing a key role in their victory over previously unbeaten and defending national champions Vermont. So not a shabby college career. And he's turned away from 12 by Torman. Noah Powder and Ermin Makic are getting set to check back in. Take another look at this save from Torman.
Yeah, sees it the whole way here. Torman hits it well. Burko does, but a comfortable height for the goalkeeper. Good power step, good secure hands to push it wide. Well done.
Double change now. It is Ermin Makic and Noah Powder in place of Connor McGlynn and Dean Guzin. McGlynn, of course, impactful, scored the penalty to make it 3-0. Guzin, an up-and-down performance by his standards. And in his place, the Trinidad and Tobago international Powder, back from a prolonged absence, part of which was a result of international duty with the Soka Warriors. Returns from that absence to feature in the closing stages of this one. Meanwhile, Greenville is also readying 2 changes. Accio and Boyce are getting set to depart. The replacements at the moment will be Rodrigo Robles and Jason Borgi. Polak. Greenville hopes to kickstart any semblance of a comeback. It has to start now. Accio hoping to do that. He was offside. Fans, Westchester Soccer Club is excited to partner with Redefined Meals, our go-to destination for fresh, healthy prepared meals. Scan the QR code on the screen for a free meal at Redefined Meals in Hartsdale. Inching towards the final 20 minutes, and as things stand, Westchester remains in the driver's seat. A trio of different goal scorers, the most recent of which was Connor McGlynn on the stroke of halftime from the spot. Sam Goldfarb alongside the former League One standout Ricky Lopez-Espin. It was a dominant first half. Daniel Burko, though, denied from 12 yards moments ago, so Greenville still playing for pride and doing so admirably here. It's going to spoil what would be Westchester's first clean sheet since their last league victory on April 8th. Evans, it's knocked along by Liati, and Marinelli pounces on it. Noah Powder from international duty. He's one of the more skilled and talented players on this Westchester roster since joining ahead of last year's inaugural season. Evans. Boyce. This could be one of his final involvements of the night. Liati. It's an adventurous ball forward. Evans is dispossessed. It falls for Jimenez, who can play out of pressure. Now hooked ahead by Chapa Herrera, and it corner results. So a double change, it is Robles and Borgi. Borgi's fresh off his first professional goal in the Prinks Cup clash Wednesday night against Loudoun. Sealed the 3 points in the 85th minute. Rodrigo Robles has been a frequent starter for the bulk of the season, but coming off the bench for the 3rd straight league match. But before that, another corner and an in-swinger from Polak. Marinelli can only punch. Evans has another hit. Didn't miss that by much.
Good technique shown from Evans. The quickness of this shot makes life difficult if it is on target. As we see those subs now coming on for Greenville.
So it is Akiel and Boyce off, Borgi and Robles on. Borgi is a USL Championship winner with Pittsburgh Riverhounds last year. His 2nd professional season, this time in League One. Meanwhile, Robles is a little more experienced, a native of Barcelona, Burgos, Spain, who made a name for himself at James Madison before joining the Triumph midway through the 2024 season. Jimenez overzealous as he looked to win that back from Fritz. Tell you what, since halftime, I think Dave Dixon will look at this tape and say, where was this for the entire first 45 minutes?
A lot more togetherness, a lot more fight. The tempo a little bit quicker for Greenville. Showing a little bit more that they want it. Pure domination in that first 45 minutes, but after going down a man, actually have shown a little bit better in terms of the composure on the ball as well.
Fritz, Robles, another corner. Those corner kicks tonight presented by Ice Air, keeping Westchester cool and comfortable. Bauman delaying time by bringing another ball on the pitch. Taken short. Robles gets it back to the edge of the area. It falls again. It's sprayed over by Liati.
That's a 3rd golden opportunity for Asad Liati throughout this match. With the success that he's had throughout his career, whether it is USL League One, you expect him and the ability to find at least one of them into the back of the net.
Nobody ever questions the physical skills of Liati. He's dealt with a number of nagging injuries throughout his career. He was on loan with Portland Hearts of Pine a year ago, and last season battled that, was in and out of the lineup throughout the year with those ailments. This is one of the first campaigns where he's been able to feature in every league match, and the goal scoring has fluctuated. Makic. Flipped at the heels. Fans, the best way to spend a summer night is watching your local team with your favorite people. Check out Westchester SC's group ticket offerings, especially if you haven't experienced the new VIP area. VIP area will be ecstatic with what they've seen tonight. 3 goals have flown in right in front of them at the stadium at Memorial Field, a historic venue in Mount Vernon, New York that dates back to the 1930s. It's most famous for when it hosted the Jackson 5, and also was the site of the famous Mean Joe Green Coca-Cola commercial. So it is a venue steeped in history in Westchester County. Armas ahead for Jimenez, who is onside. Jimenez plays it back in. Makic cleared away at the 11th hour. Robles is fouled. And the yellow card may come out of our referee's pocket for Alexi Armas.
Been walking a really thin line for the majority of this game. Armas has been late in numerous of challenges. This time, Robles does a really good job cutting it back and making the most of it as well. Or is a clear contact for Armas to go into the book.
Second Westchester man to be cautioned. The only other is Kyle Evans, who is off the field now. Fritz plays it back to Borgi. Westchester does not manage to prevent that from going out. It is another corner kick. Luca Marinelli's been a tested man from these scenarios. So far has passed every one. More target practice for Polak. Punched away again. Falls to the edge of the area. Now floated back in from Herrera. Falls to the back post. They just can't get it back into the mixer. And a chance perhaps to break for Westchester now. Jimenez. I know they're 3-0 up. And at the end of the night, assuming this result holds, they'll be thrilled with the first half performance. But I think George Jokai may have some words about the second half performance.
The tempo and the intensity is clearly dropped. What I mentioned, obviously up a player.
Diaz is looking to add the final exclamation point. And now Jimenez goes down. Sticks with it for Westchester. Final 15 minutes from the stadium at Memorial Field.
Hasn't been clean whatsoever for Westchester. The intensity dropped. The tempo hasn't been as high as it needed to be. See, that is a tendency that we continue to see, whether it is at the League One level and Championship as well. When teams go up a man and they have a lead that is extended by multiple goals, they take their foot off the gas pedal. And that's actually the opposite of what you want to do. You want to continue to put pressure on the opposition.
You have seen George Jokai bring on fresh legs to reinforce that, reinvigorate that approach, but it seems like that trend, to your point, has remained the case even since.
You can make the argument through the run of play, Greenville has been the better side, right? A little bit more confident on the ball, playing in between lines. But where Greenville has struggled has certainly been in that final third. Not enough quality.
Do say the game is decided in the boxes, don't they? It is an interesting point you bring up, though, because George Jokai this week said for the first hour out of the run of play in pretty much every match this season, have left it feeling pretty good, with the exception of the Greenville trip in late March and the Boise trip in mid-April. And he said that was the case as well on Wednesday night against Fort Wayne. He said once they hit that 60-minute threshold, though, and players have run 5, 6, 7 miles, that's when he starts to see the drop-off. And I think even despite the result that is almost over the line now, he may feel similarly. The difference is they just punished Greenville when they showed vulnerability.
Well, if it's a common thread around the trend around that 60th minute mark now, a simple solution is that just get fitter, right? Have players to keep that same sort of maintenance over the course of 90 minutes. But any team, whether you're trying to find results and find that consistency, that is a big talking point. Having the ability to keep that performance consistent throughout the course of 90 minutes, regardless of the performance. right? Players have to continue to close down defensively, make those runs.
It's not a bad ball, but it's too tight on the goal mouth.
And that is something that George Jokai is going to want to continue to look away at if this Westchester side does want to end up in around that playoff line.
Still important to note, it is a Westchester side that started the season down 4 or 5 key players, still getting back to full fitness. The likes of Mo Williams, a key defender that George Jokai feels will play a key role in the coming weeks, is 1 or 2 weeks away, not to mention Aiden Bora, who is someone that they're very excited by, as not featured for quite some time. So there are reinforcements coming, not to mention Stephen Payne still working his way back as well. For Dave Dixon's men, I think, assuming this result holds, they'll hope to flush this result as quickly as possible and move on to that AV Alta tussle in 6 nights' time. It is now a debutante for Westchester. Diaz exits, and it's Cohen Veltri, the 21-year-old out of Elon University, who makes his professional debut. George Jokai this week said Cohen Veltri is one of the most clinical finishers in training, someone who he hoped to sign in the preseason, but Veltri was battling a number of hamstring issues, had to get himself sorted, get everything organized, but has finally gotten back up to full fitness and has impressed. Now on a 25-day deal. Borgi. It's clumsy from Timchenko in another corner. As always, corner kicks presented by Ice Air, keeping every play cool and comfortable. In swinger from Polak. Evans chasing after this, and Dickerson watches it run out of play. Fans, enter the Brinks Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on screen and enter today.
Not a bad deal. $2,000?
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
It is the summer of opportunity, after all, isn't it? An expanded World Cup that features 48 teams. More chance than ever for players to enjoy the world's game, and the biggest we've ever seen USL League One club-wise. 17 clubs in the league, which has been a massive expansion from last year. Still only the top 8 make the playoffs, though, so playoff chase is more contentious than ever as well. Veltri's first touch, and it's one he'll hope to forget, but Makic is back onto it. Jimenez, Makic, looking for an angle to shoot, and rockets it off the post.
Good feet here from Makic, and a tight area. Create separation and just trying to rope this ball and shape it towards that far post. Really well done from the sub coming in, and nearly the 4th for Westchester.
He's one of the more technically gifted players in the squad. Scored a worldie in the Brinks Cup second round of fixtures in that rivalry clash with New York Cosmos. That gave them a 2-1 lead and was an instant goal of the round contender. Veltri. When you look ahead for Westchester, this is an important building block. George Jokai, as we spoke of off the top, said that this run of 3 fixtures in 9 days could go a long way to defining the fate of their season, as Ivan Ajakwa is now getting set to enter. He enters for Chapa Herrera in a like-for-like swap. But George Jokai did say to us, said that these 3 matches could allow us to build momentum and spur us on in the playoff chase. Remember, they were 9 points south of the playoff line entering tonight, but things can change in a hurry in this league. And now this holds, it'll be 4 points from those first 2 matches ahead of a Portland tussle, which is now shaping up to be a 6-pointer.
Momentum's a real thing in USL League One, and you have to find ways to pick up points when you do play at home.
Jimenez, Armas, it's still loose. Jimenez was not far off that.
And it's another opportunity that Jimenez just takes one too many touches. As this ball comes across, you either have 2 options. You let it come across your body and strike it with your left foot, or put your foot on it and simply pass it back into your teammate quicker. That allows Greenville to get numbers around the ball and just close down the angle. It's little details like that that continue to lack that make a massive difference between finding the back of the net, forcing a save out of a goalkeeper, or allowing the opposition to close down space.
Inching towards the final 5 minutes. Westchester well on their way to one of their more dominant victories in club history, and they're hunting one final exclamation point. This cross towards Burko. He lays it off for Ermin Makic. Clever interplay, and Burko kisses it off the post, but the offside flag was up.
Good idea with the extra pass here. Around the corner as Burko about half of a yard to 2 yards offsides. It's a good call. A little bit of glimpse of how good and how silky Westchester can be when they do play quick.
That was the slickest spell of interplay, arguably, we've seen all night from Westchester. Had Burko managed to hold his run, he may be talking about a real chance that was squandered there. You've spoken about how momentum is a real thing, and I know this is presumably, if it holds, just a first league win since April 8th, but the manner in which they did it, especially in the first half, that has to count for something beyond that.
And you take it a step further against Fort Wayne as well, the performances that you put over the course of these 2 games. Yes, this second half hasn't been up to par for Westchester, but that first half, you were clinical. You won both boxes against a Greenville team that is struggling, yes, but still has a lot of talent, has a lot of experience within the roster.
Ajakwa hunting an angle to shoot, and does. It's the outside of the side netting.
Shows about 3 different times Ajakwa here that he's going to pull the trigger. Really common how he just almost guides with this ball. Little fake right there. Another one. That second and third, fourth touch. Hits it well, just the wrong side of the post.
Ivan Ajakwa, a product of Furman. What a program that they've built over in Greenville. He's the 4th former Paladin to sign with a triumph in the club's history. And of course this year, in Doug Allison's final season, arguably one of their best seasons in recent memory, returning to the College Cup. At one point, ranked #1 in the country as well during the campaign. Ajakwa not part of that side. It's year 2 for him with Greenville, but his alma mater doing big things on the pitch. Armas. Veltri plays it in the half space for Bauman. It was an appetizing cross, but not enough on it. Tracked down by Armas, who's been a wrecking ball in the center of the park tonight. Powder. Was read well by Polak. Jacques the other direction. Borgi. And it hit his hand in the process. What is a team talk like from Dave Dixon after tonight?
You challenge. You challenge the personalities in your locker room. You challenge the players in your locker room. Say, next time,
Robles looking to challenge the defense.
We step on the white field, over the white line. We need a better response, and you need more execution in both boxes for Greenville. Not clean up defensively, and certainly not sharp enough when you have got in front of goal. Tough challenge for Polak.
Makic plays it forward. Jimenez rushing. There's a chance for the final blow here. Jimenez, he does not do well enough with this. Had Burko and held on to it too long, it seems. Jimenez has gotten himself into a number of dangerous spots, just lacking that final touch. Liotti wrestling with Dickerson. Final minute of the initial 90. Borgi nearly gets it back. It's a step that takes him away from it. Robles. Overlapping run from Borgi, and Burko doing his defensive duties from the front. There's a real chance here.
As you play this ball through, for Jimenez, you need to play this first time. Just simply pass it across right now. You take a second, a third touch. Now the angle is a little bit tighter. You overcomplicate it, and I mentioned it earlier, the same type of action from Jimenez. Efficient and clean. Head up, play the ball into Burko, and it's a 1v1 for your teammate there. A little bit selfish from Jimenez.
We are now into the 2 minutes of Mar and Mar stoppage time. It is something that George Jokai says he's working on, not just with Jimenez, but a number of his attackers. And it's something they'll hope to clean up in the coming weeks. All in all, it comes amidst the backdrop of what will be a comfortable victory. There's a chance for one more, and this time Burko is through on goal. Burko looking to wrap it up, and he does so. Burko opens his League One account, and Westchester makes it 4-0 in the closing stages.
Phenomenal weight on the ball from Dickerson to pick up his head, and notice there's a 1v1 for your attacking player. And just the pace from Burko, but the body control to take this touch around the goalkeeper and then to lift it a little bit, knowing that the defender's gonna leave his feet. Individual brilliance from Burko, and finally gets his goal in a Westchester kit.
It's his first in USL League One, his fourth in Westchester colors, and Daniel Burko, after being denied from the spot about 20 minutes ago, gets on the score sheet for the Golden Apple, and he punctuates one of the most dominant victories in club history. They won 5-1 against Corpus Christi in early April. They now lead 4-0 against Greenville. And maybe there's some magic at Memorial Field now. We are beyond the 2 minutes of added time. And there is the full-time whistle. It is domination from Westchester. 3 first-half goals, and Daniel Burko punctuates it in the closing embers.
Deserving 3 points for Westchester and phenomenal result here at home. First half was pure domination. Second half, a little bit of work rate from Burko to get the 4th. But starting to grow in momentum and back-to-back solid performances for Westchester when they play at home.
It is a Westchester side that climbs up the table, now moves 6 points from the playoff places. We'll step aside briefly. When we return, a look back at the 90 minutes that just transpired.
Eligible for Medicare? Here's a great new reason to be happy. You may qualify for money-saving programs that could lower your Medicare costs. Just talk to a Health First specialist about programs like Extra Help, Epic, and more. To learn how New Yorkers like you can save, call 1-844-434-6399. Health First Medicare Advantage Plans, where healthy starts.
Come on, get happy.
Raising health means elevating the care that we can get in our backyard. The Westchester Soccer Club is part of the United Soccer League that has now expanded into Westchester.
It's a brand new USL One team competing all across the country, bringing the love for the sport of soccer to the area.
Northwell is going to provide them the best care possible, going to the games, making sure that we're on site for each home game. If an injury pops up, we get those players in immediately.
The partnership between the Westchester Soccer Club and Northwell Health is very exciting.
Northwell's vision is to raise health. So we offer the full gamut of orthopedic services, serving the community in Westchester. That's where my family lives, that's where I live, and that's my purpose here.
We welcome you back to Westchester, where the Golden Apples secure their first 3 points in league play in over 2 months, and they do so in dominant fashion. They win 4-0 against Greenville Triumph, and Ricky, here's how it all unfolded. A dominant first half, and then they add the exclamation point in the dying embers.
It starts in the 15th minute here with Diaz. Top side of your screen just creates a little bit of separation as his ball does pop out to him. Really well done to go at Evan Lee here, take that touch and wrap his right foot around it. Really well done in terms of his aggressiveness to find this far post. Just simply no chance for the goalkeeper.
A high-end start for Westchester, and it just got better after that because Max Jennings would tack on a second shortly after the half-hour mark.
As this ball comes across, a little bit of rotation. Armas doing a really good job at driving at the back line, but top left of your screen again. Jennings really picks on Evan Lee here. Notice how he just peels off the blind side of the center back. He never sees him, never peeks over his shoulder. There's simply no rotation from Meek towards him. Good header from Jennings to double lead.
And then this is the moment where things really unraveled for Greenville. A needless red card and the penalty to seal it.
Yeah, just simply no need here for Knight. Frustration, feels like he's pushed, but you can simply not do that. You see straight red, goes from bad to worse for Greenville as McGlynn steps up, automatic from 12 yards. Third for Westchester in this first half.
Then after halftime, you saw a slight drop-off from Westchester, but Daniel Burko adds the final touches.
Dickerson picks up his head, sees their space, and he put the ball into space, and Burko just outruns out of here. Brings the goalkeeper in, goes around him, and the composure and body control to find the back of the net. First league goal for Burko. Really well done to give Westchester all 3 points.
The joint largest victory by margin in club history. Look at the stats. Westchester dominant across the board, more than quadruple the number of shots on goal.
A game that they needed to have, and they had it for this Westchester side. For Greenville Triumph, you need to be cleaner in that final third. That was your falling point through the course of 90 minutes.
So Westchester surges up the table, now 6 points off playoff pace in a match they needed to win, and they do by a 4-0 margin. For our terrific crew and my broadcast partner, Ricky Lopez-Espin, we say so long from Westchester County, where the Golden Apple rout Greenville and secure their first ever victory over the Triumph. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.